Here is the Crinum Lily. This is one of the largest varieties, I believe. So this is the Giant Crinum Lily. There's many different types that you may have up in your area as well, or you may have seen in the flower shops, like the Stargazer Lily and the Tiger Lily. But there's a lot of different varieties. But this one I have going in my yard. I actually took a bulb from a plant that was at my church that they were going to be throwing away when they did a big rebuild. So I grabbed a bulb, and this saved a little bit of the plant life that was pre-built at our church. So that's where this plant came from. Anyway, you can see that some of it has fallen over here. And this isn't that big of a deal. So being that it's a walkway, I'm going to show you how to clean them up. And we talked about this in my previous video about sometimes how they fall down. So the flowers are really nice, but if you want to have more energy go back into the plant and just sustain it, you can either pinch off the flower heads like this, or I just cut them off completely here. Now, if I was wanting to save bulbs to sell bulbs and things like that, I would just let it go to bulb and then save these bulbs and sell them. Some people do that. I saw them on Etsy. I've seen them on Google and things like that. Oh, by the way, if you hear some snapping and sounds in the background, it's July 5th, and so some of my neighbors are still blowing off their fireworks. So just pay no mind to that. All right. Anyway, so definitely we're going to get rid of this. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to clean up all of these flowers. You can kind of see here too, this is what happens. The flowers are really nice, and then they die off, they get dry, and then a small little bulb starts forming. We're going to see some other demonstrations of this on a different plant around the side of the house that's a little bit better, but that's kind of what starts happening. But you see what? Look at this. This plant's kicking out a whole new flower right here. So I continually have flower blooms, so me cutting them back, it's not a big deal. It's not like I'm missing out on the nice flowers. So another thing to remember on this plant too is it is poisonous to cats and dogs. A lot of the lilies are very toxic to animals, so just be careful if you do have lilies or you want to bring them in your house, that you're just aware of that and put them in a place where they're not going to get to them. But some of them are very toxic. This one isn't as bad as some of the other ones, but these bulbs that do fall down, I mean, if a dog's hungry, he might eat it and would get really sick and have a problem. So just be aware of that this, you don't want to eat any part of this plant. Okay. And also you want to wear gloves because there's a sap, and I'm going to show you that as well. When you cut it, there's a lot of liquid that comes out, and that can irritate your skin. It's toxic. So that's, I usually wear arm pieces on this, but I'm just going to wear some gloves today. My two preferred tools to use are these. This one actually this is a hedge trimmer, but with the size of these leaves, this actually works great, and I can hit multiple leaves at the same time. So I'm going to use this one, but if you have this kind or a hand one or even a knife, you can use those as well to clean them. What I like to do though, because I have all kinds of plants and I actually have a couple palm trees that have a not so good fungus on them that can spread from plant to plant. So you want to make sure your tools, you don't cross contaminate between plants. So before you start working with a certain plant and you don't know if what you cut last time, it's always good to treat your tools with some isopropyl alcohol. So the 91% is the best to use. I should probably have a sprayer or something, but this is just, down and dirty, I guess. I don't know. So I just clean it like that. It's obviously going on my sidewalk, which is how I'm cleaning the sidewalk. All those COVID germs coming through my house ain't gonna come in now. Anyway, so you want to kind of give it a quick rub. It dries really fast, but you don't want to cut it when it's still wet on there, because that'll go right into the plant system. So, all right, I'm gonna put my gloves on. Now I go through a lot of plant material that we just take to the curb because I don't really have a big, huge mulch pile or not mulch pile. I don't have a big compost pile to manage this amount of plant material. So what I use are these really nice garbage bins. These are just good garbage bins with wheels, so I can drag them down to the road. I can cover them as well. But these are really good. I have 3 of these, and that's what I put my plant stuff in. So this is a very easy plant to cut. So I'm going to keep this flower on here. So I'm just going to go down in here and start with this big flower head right here. So just one chop. You can see there's some liquid coming out. You see that liquid? See it coming down on the ground? That can get on your skin. So what I do is I immediately put it inside, dripping down, so I don't touch that. This is like a whole other plant that fell over, so that's kind of weird. So I'm just gonna trim that up. Again, lots of fluid coming out of there, potentially. So I put it fluid side down, so I don't touch it when I'm moving it or putting other stuff in there. Now, while you're at the plant, you want to look and see if there's any yellowing or other plant material that you can just quickly trim up to kind of keep the shape. Um, what I'm going to do is, because this is, like I said, this is a very congested space, I don't want all of these little guys to come up because they're going to grow into my spots. So I typically come into and I can just quickly chop them off. We'll just chop a couple for now. You get the idea. See, now this plant, this one right here, even these are like in the walking path. So I'm going to get these guys too. So you just come in as close as you can and get them. Lots of milk coming out of that one. So I'm going to get this guy too because he's falling down anyway. All right. This one too. And I'm going to get these guys too because otherwise I'm just going to have to come and do this in a few days and I'm already here. So just do it. And my garbage day is tomorrow. So it's a great day to trim plants so they're not just sitting on the side of your house catching water and catching mosquitoes and stuff like that. See that one? I want to get rid of that for sure. Jeez. My earpiece fell out. Okay, let's stick that in there pretty good. All right. I think we're good here. And maybe this piece too. Oh no, we got other ones in here. You gotta look. It's like hunting for plants. Oh, I didn't get that one all the way. See how one plant can fill up this whole thing? It's amazing. Oh, I know there's another seed in there. I can see it right there. So Sunday chores or Saturday chores. This is kind of what it looks like. That little guy had flower in there too. Okay, I think we're good there. I'm gonna leave this flower just so we have some flowers there for the pollinators and stuff. Um, Now, this part down here can get looking a little ratty, so you can peel these layers off, but you definitely want to have gloves on for this because this material can really make your hands itch. And you can just peel it off in layers, kind of like an onion. I don't take too many off because I don't want to have bugs and funguses and things to have too much access to the plant, but I can take some of it off so it doesn't get all slimy and so forth. So here you can see here's 3 little bulbs that fell in there, and that's why they fall and they keep making new ones. So I could plant these, but I have so many. Okay, on to the next one. So here's another grouping of them. You can see there's lots of flowers going on. These ones are a little bit tricky on me sometimes if they fall down because of this bushy plant. I don't see them. And then I have them coming up. So I don't want any more. This amount looks nice in this space for the front profile of the house. So I'm going to get rid of these too. Just come in. Ooh, that one's pretty thick. Ooh. I'll pick those up later. I'm going to trim this on the bottom a little. All right, that's pretty quick and easy. Easy to do. I got one more around the side. All right, so here's another one that I have on the side of the house. These like sun and or shade. This is on the south side of my house. It's shaded a little bit, but it does get a lot of sun. So this is a pretty. They say they get to be 5 feet tall. Well, I'm 5'1", so this is a pretty good species representation. So doing good. Anyway, so you see here, all these bulbs are coming, but this is in my grass. This is what happens. You just gotta trim them up and get rid of them. There's one. Two. This one's got some good bulbs going on it already, but I'm gonna get rid of it. Now, once they drop, I found this actually behind it. They kind of get to look like this color. They get brown, and then you can see this little bud here. That's where the root was coming out, was growing. But that's what they look like when they dry up and they get on the ground. That's what they look like. They're not green anymore. All right, well, that was my demonstration of how to trim crimiums, or crinums, I guess is what they're called. I think they're a great plant. They take up nice space. They're really simple to take care of. They're green. You don't get pests and things like that. So I highly recommend them. They're fun. Keep growing.